Hey yogis, it's Courtney from Grand Park. Welcome to your Yoga a la retreat. I don't know what week we're on of practicing together in this virtual way, but I'm really grateful that you continue to show up for yourself, that we can still stay connected as a community, even though I can't see all your beautiful faces. I miss you. Today for practice, I was reading an essay in the Paris Review today. It was written by my teacher. I'm a writer and I study with this amazing teacher named Scott O'Connor. And he wrote an essay about the way baseball is running, and how there aren't fans in the stadiums and how it really feels like a summer of not being there. So, a summer of not being able to do the things that we are used to doing, a summer of maybe not returning to school, a summer of not going to birthday parties, a summer of, not going to sporting events. And as soon as I read it, I was thinking of how we always have the opportunity to return home to our bodies. So even if we're not in a state of normalcy right now, if we're not able to do kind of the social things that we used to do, we still have the opportunity to come home to ourselves. And I say that because I notice that sometimes I can kind of get out of that practice of coming home to myself and really just grounding down and feeling my feet connected to the earth and just being here, being in my body. So that's going to be our theme today. So let's come to find a comfortable seat. So we're going to be seated for a couple minutes, so make sure it's a position that you can hold for a little bit. If you want to come up to sit in a chair, if that's more comfortable, I'm seated on a blanket. You could come to sit up on something. And then just take whatever positioning with your feet that feel comfortable. If you want to come into traditional Sukhasana and cross your feet at your ankles, you could do that. Place your palms either up or down in your lap. Down will feel more grounding if you're feeling a little scattered or not quite here yet. Up will feel more open and receptive. So maybe try both those positionings of the hands and see what feels better to you today. And then I invite you here to go ahead and close your eyes. And think of this idea of coming home to yourself. And in this kind of summer of not doing the things maybe we're used to doing, our practice, no matter where we are, draws us back to ourselves. So see if you can start to connect to your breath. Start to allow that connection to your breath to make you aware of your body in space. Allow the breath to bring your mind to this moment, to this body, to this experience. And we're just going to take a few rounds of beautiful breath together. So on your exhale, let it all come out. And then through your nose, big inhale for 2, 3, 4, a little pause at the top. And then through your nose, exhale for 2, 3, 4, let the breath stay out. Inhale through your nose for 2, 3, 4, a little pause at the top. And then through your nose, exhale for 2, 3, 4, little pause out. Start to breathe your own rhythm. So letting your own breath come in, letting your own breath move out. And I'm going to keep asking us to come back to the breath as a way to come home to ourselves. So whatever happened before you came to practice happened, whatever will happen after practice will happen. But let's be right here, right now, in our breath, in our body. Go ahead and draw your hands in a gesture of prayer at your heart. Bow your chin into your chest. And then we'll start standing today. So find your way to a stand. We're going to set up the feet underneath the hips distance. So if you don't know what hips distance is, it's probably smaller than you think. You could take 2 fists, place them in between your feet, and that will be your hips distance. So we want the toes facing forward, the heels are back. Draw your hands out to the sides with the palms forward. Find a little bit of bend in your knee. And then lift your heart up, send your shoulders away from your ears. Slight little pull of the belly to the spine. Soften your jaw, steady your gaze on one point, and just stand in yourself right now. Stand, let your feet ground down to the earth. Let your shoulders melt away from your ears. We're in our mountain pose. So the top of our head is the peak of the mountain. The arms out to the side are the sides of the mountain. Find your inhales and your exhales through your nose. Really allow the rhythm of your own breath to help ground you here. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. On your next inhale, send your arms tall to the sky. And then exhale, we'll send the elbows out, coming in for cactus arms. So heart opener, little bend in your upper back. Inhale, rise your arms tall to the sky. We'll do that a couple more times. Exhale, spread your heart, elbows bend out to the side. Inhale, rise your arms tall. One more time. Exhale, elbows come out. Inhale, rise it up. And then exhale, we'll fold into a forward fold. So feet can be a little bit wider if that feels more comfortable. Let your head be soft. Put as much bend in your knees as you need. And then option 1 would be to let your fingertips dangle. Option 2 would be to grab opposite elbow with opposite hand. And then imagine your feet were glued to the earth. And notice any parts of your feet where they might be a little lighter, glue those down. So we're pressing below the big toe, below the pinky toe, and on the heel. Let your head and neck be soft here. And then from here, we're going to slow roll up to stand. So put more bend into your knees as you start to slowly roll up. Think about stacking your spine on top of itself. And then let's inhale to rise our arms tall to the sky. Exhale, fold yourself in half. Inhale, heart rises flat back. Exhale to fold. We're going to take a little pause here. Reconnect with your breath. Glue your feet to the earth. Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. See if you can arrive home in this pose. So when nothing is guaranteed or the same as we're used to, the one thing we can count on is arriving back into our bodies through the breath. And allow that connection of arriving back to your body with your breath bring you into the here and the now. A little bend in your knees, start to roll yourself all the way up. Inhale, send your arms tall to the sky. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. One more pause here. Remember, you can let your fingertips dangle. You could grab opposite elbows. Really ground your feet down to the earth. Really allow your jaw to be soft. Allow your head to be heavy. Check in with your breath. Maybe finding an even inhale and exhale. And then more bend in your knees. Start to roll yourself up, super slow. Really nice. Let's take our feet a little bit wider than the hips. So maybe like 3.5 feet, depending on how long your legs are. And then we'll take the toes to face out, the heels to face in, and then we'll bend straight down, taking the hands either in a gesture of prayer at the heart, or you can have your hands at the hips. You can come to a wall if you need some support. So this is temple pose. Find a position, find a place you can breathe, settle into the moment, settle into your thighs. Really allow your feet to ground down. Let your shoulders roll away. Take really deep breaths, long breaths, slow breaths. And then on your next exhale, press into your feet, straighten your legs, release for a moment. We're gonna come in one more time. Feel your feet glued to the earth to start. And then when you're ready, exhale into the shape. So sinking down into your hips. Arms maybe come out, maybe at the heart center, maybe at your hips, maybe on your thighs. Settle your shoulders down away from your ears. Press down into your feet. See if you're resisting the bend and see if you can allow yourself to sink in. Sink in and fill the shape with your breath. On your next exhale, press and extend your legs straight. Really nice. Heel toe your feet into center. And then we'll come in for a few rounds of sun salutations. So inhale, rises the arms tall. Exhale, folds our hearts. Inhale, lifts your heart halfway. Exhale, let's step back into a plank pose. Let's hold plank. See where we are today. So pressing down into your palms, feel whatever's touching earth and lift up out of it. If you need to set your knees down, please take that variation. So knees down would look just as active. So you're scooping your belly into your spine, you're pressing into your knuckles, you're lifting up out of your shoulders, or the legs are extended, the heels are reaching back. On your next exhale, hips come up and back to the sky, downward facing dog. So here we are. So all kinds of things to remember in down dog. So bending the knees as much as the hamstrings need, pressing the weight forward into the knuckles, armpits are hugging in so that the upper back is spreading away from itself. We're lifting up out of the shoulders. The heels are reaching down. Doesn't matter if they ever get to the earth. The hips are reaching up and back. And the heart is reaching for those thighs. So really active pose. If this is not a great pose for you, you can set your knees down and keep your arms extended for puppy dog pose. So that's also a nice upper back stretch if you need that. So on your next inhale, let's rise the right foot. And then we're gonna exhale, hug the knee into the chin, and then stack your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, send your foot back up to the sky. Exhale, hug your knee into your chin, shoulders stack underneath the wrist. You can also rest in child's pose. Inhale, rise your foot. And then we'll exhale, set the right foot down. Let's come into a child's pose before the other side. I want us to check in. So child's pose is knees wide, big toes come together to touch. The heart sinking towards the earth, the hips are sinking for the heels. Come back to yourself by coming back to your breath. Allow your breath to draw you into this moment, into the now, into the home of your body. And then option to stay here if you don't want that core work, or you press yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Next inhale lifts the left foot. And then next exhale, hug the knee towards the chin, stack your wrists. Inhale, send the foot tall. Exhale, hug the knee into the chest, stack your shoulders over the wrists. Inhale the left foot tall. Set your left foot down next to your right, downward facing dog. And then we'll come back to our forward fold. Yes? So lots of folding today. Folding is very introspective. It helps us to kind of turn inward and kind of not focus on the external stuff. And when we make time to go inward, we often show up externally a lot better, at least in my experience. So from here, we'll walk ourselves back out to downward facing dog. And then on your next inhale, step your right foot where your right hand is. Back foot spins flat to a 45-degree angle. Press down into your feet, and from your feet, rise your arms. Send your right hip back. Really press into the outer edge of your back foot so the thigh doesn't take all the weight of the body. The left leg is working too. If you're feeling wobbly today, you can take your right foot wider than your mat if you have a mat. So the more space we have, the more support we have. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, take your hands down to the earth. Right foot steps back to plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, your left foot steps, back foot spins back to a 45. We're coming up for warrior one on the left. So press down into your feet, ground down whatever's touching earth. Send your left hip back. Arms can stack up and over your shoulders, belly scooping in towards your spine. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Steady your gaze. How's your breath? And then from here, exhale your hands down to the earth. Find your way to plank. Let's take a child's pose. So knees come wide, big toes come together. Sink your hips towards your heels. Settle into your breath. From here, we'll come to a seat. So finding your way to whatever comfortable seat you want to take. And we'll just take a little pause here. So again, palms down or up on the thighs. Find a tall spine. Find a lift of your heart. Send your shoulders away from your ears. Go inside yourself. Close your eyes if that helps. Maybe you notice a little energy humming through the body from some movement. Maybe you need to regain control over your breath. But maybe you're a little bit more aware of your body. Really let your sit bones ground down into the earth. Rise your heart from your sit bones. And then go ahead and flutter your eyes open. From here, we'll extend both our legs out. You can put as much bend in your knees as you need. Put a bend in your left knee, and then take your left foot up and over your right thigh. We're gonna hug the right forearm across the left shin. Rise your left arm tall, and then take your left hand to the base of your spine. Put a little bit of flex in your extended foot. And from your seat, rise up. And from the length of your spine, start to twist. Just a little bit. Maybe close your eyes here, go inside. Find your breath, let your breath bring you home to yourself, to this moment. On your exhale, release yourself forward. We'll switch it to the other side. So extend your left leg, bend your right knee, and then stack your right foot up and over your extended left leg. Find length in your spine. Take your left forearm across your right shin. Rise your right arm tall. And then tap your right arm to the base of your spine. Send your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe close your eyes, go inside the twist. And you might notice when we twist, we have to call in more breath. So can you find as much space in your breath by breathing a little deeper in your twist? On your exhale, release yourself forward. Extend your leg back up. Put a little bend in your knees so that the feet are just where the knees were. And then we'll do our slow roll down to the earth. So pulling your belly into your spine, slow roll down. And then from here, take your feet underneath your knees. Let your fingertips graze your heels. We're going to come in for 2 bridge poses today. So your fingertips should graze your heels. The knees are stacked over the heels. Press down into your feet. Rise your thighs up. Send your knees forward. And then maybe interlace the hands and tuck your shoulders. Or if that's not an option, you can press into your forearms and lift up. So we want to press down into whatever's touching earth to rise ourselves into a back bend. How's your breath? On your exhale, release out of your bridge. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Take a big breath for yourself. And then exhale to release it out. One more time, fingertips graze heels, press into your feet, rise your thighs up, knees point forward, maybe find an interlace, tuck your shoulders, or press into your forearms. Allow whatever is touching earth, especially the feet, to press down to lift up. Take one more big breath wherever you are. Exhale to release your hips. One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Close your eyes, go inside, take a breath. And then take your feet as wide as your mat. If you don't have a mat, a little wider than your hips. Let your knees fall in towards one another. And then take your knees side to side like they were windshield wipers. And then the next time you come over to the right, come into your little side child's pose. So take your inner right arm underneath your head. Feel your connection to the earth. And from this connection to earth, press yourself up. And then we'll find our way to legs up the wall. So for those of you who have been practicing with me for a while, you can go ahead and get into it. For those of you who need to understand how this works, it's really important to set it up thoughtfully and spend the time to set it up. So you're going to come to a wall or a door that no one else is going to come through. So you can use a closet door as a really nice option. And then you'll come to take one side of your body to the wall. So your hip is connected to the wall, your shoulders connected to the wall. Maintaining this connection, come down to your elbows, scoot your hips a little bit forward, and then realign your hips to the wall and your shoulder to the wall. We want to be as close to the wall as we can get so we don't have to scoot and possibly injure our low back doing this. So you're close into the wall, and then you're going to shimmy your legs up the wall so your bottom is flush with the wall, and then your legs come up from your hips. Your legs don't have to be straight, so if you need to put a little bend in your knees, you could do that. If your bum isn't on the wall, come down and tuck yourself in again and come down to your elbows and send your legs up. So, if you can hear the vacuuming, there's some vacuuming going on. So we have our legs up the wall. Place your hands somewhere on your body. So maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, maybe both hands on your belly. Close your eyes if that feels okay. And see if you can go inside. So maybe go inside by focusing on your breath. You could also go inside by focusing on how this posture feels in the body. So you might feel some tingling. You could let your focus be on that sensation. And we're going to be here for a couple minutes. This is a really great reset pose. It's a restorative posture in yoga. It's a really great way to bring us back to ourselves, to regroup, to kind of gain a new perspective. And if all that sounds weird, it just feels really nice and in my experience and in a lot of my students' experiences. So here we are. Give your mind a focus, so either the breath or the sensations. If you want to focus on the sound of the vacuum, anything that helps to bring you into the here and now. We'll be here for about a minute and a half more. Anytime you notice yourself going somewhere else that's not here in this pose, don't beat yourself up. Just notice that you're trailing off, and through that awareness, come back. One last reminder to come back if you've drifted off. Come back to the sensation, to the breath or the sounds around you. Go ahead and count 3 more full breath cycles. So really witness yourself taking in breath and releasing breath 3 times. Here, slide your heels down to where your knees just were, and then rolling over to your right side or your left side, whatever intuitively you move to. Press yourself up, and we're going to take one final child's pose. So if child's pose doesn't feel great in your body, you could come to lay on your back and just kind of regroup that way. For those of you who think child's pose feels good, knees as wide as your mat or a little bit wider than your hips, big toes come together to touch. Let your forehead touch the earth and let your hips sink towards your heels. And then see if you can really witness your breath. So watch yourself take 3 deep inhales here. make yourself back up to a seat. So I'm going to come up to the camera. I'm going to talk us through a few rounds of breath together. So we're in our seat. Really let your hip bones ground down to the earth. Place your palms either up or down on your thighs. Go ahead and close your eyes. Settle your shoulders down away from your ears. Soften your jaw. And I'm going to use the vacuum that you probably hear as an exercise for us. So a lot of times the outside world is pretty noisy, but we can always come back home to ourselves. So with your eyes closed, use the sound of the vacuum cleaner or whatever is around you in your space. Use it as a call to come inside yourself. So softening the eyes, closing them, focus on your breath. Use the sounds to draw you into now. Use the now to draw you into your body. Use your breath to connect you to your body. Use the breath to arrive home. From here, we're going to take 3 more rounds of breath together. We'll stay really simple, so I'll count us through 3 rounds of breath. Go ahead and let your exhale fall out. Through your nose, inhale for 2, 3, 4. Little pause at the top. Through your nose, exhale for 2, 3, 4. Little pause at the bottom. Through your nose, inhale for 2, 3, 4. Little pause at the top. Through your nose, exhale for 2, 3, 4. Little pause at the bottom. Through your nose, inhale for 2, 3, 4. Little pause at the top. Through your nose, exhale for 2, 3, 4. Little pause at the bottom. Allow your breath to come back in as it wants. Go ahead and flutter your eyes open. And then come to find a comfortable position on your back. I'm going to stay upright and talk us through some things together. So find a comfortable position on your back. That could be laying on your back. That could be bending your knees so that your ankles are stacked underneath your knees. For some people that have low back discomfort, that can be a nicer variation. So find your way to a comfortable position. Let your arms fall out to the sides. Let your palms rest up towards the sky. I invite you here to close your eyes. If that doesn't feel comfortable for some reason, you can take a soft gaze at the ceiling. But in the theme of kind of coming home and going inward, it does help to close the eyes, to limit the distractions of the external world. So from here, we'll do one more breath thing together. This time we're going to do a 3 count inhale. We'll pause at different areas of the body, and then we'll do a long audible exhale from our mouth. So go ahead and let the breath fall out of the body. And then through your nose, inhale to your belly and pause. Inhale more breath to your heart and pause. Inhale more breath to the very top of your head and pause. Through your mouth, sigh it out. 2 more times. Inhale breath to your belly and pause. Inhale more breath to your heart and pause. Inhale more breath to the very top of your head and pause. From your mouth, sigh it out. Last one. Inhale breath to belly and pause. Inhale breath to heart and pause. Inhale breath to top of head and pause. From your mouth, exhale it out. Let the breath come back in however it wants. And we're going to finish class today with a guided meditation. So make sure you're comfortable. If you're not, make sure that you find a comfortable position. And for guided meditation, all you have to do is listen to what I say and respond energetically in your body. So as I talk us through this meditation, your physical form will look the same, but there might be something energetically that releases. And if this doesn't make sense, just try it and see what happens. So just start to bring some awareness to the soles of your feet. Allow your feet to relax. Allow your toes to be soft. Allow your ankles to be soft. Draw awareness up your shins, the backs of your calves, and your knees. Allow the joints of the knees to release, the shin bones to be really heavy, the muscles of the calves to be heavy. Draw awareness up your thighs, the fronts of your thighs, the backs of your thighs. Allow your hips to be open and wide. Allow your low back to release. Draw awareness to your stomach. Notice if you're holding or clenching in your belly. And maybe through some awareness, you soften that area. Drawing awareness up your mid-back and your upper back. Allow your shoulders to melt down away from your ears. Allow your collarbone to spread wide. Draw awareness into your heart. Allow your heart to open towards the ceiling or the sky. If there's any clenching there, maybe send a couple of breaths and let any feeling move through the heart. Drawing awareness to your neck, to your throat, soften those areas. Let's check back in with our shoulders, send those down away from the ears, letting your arms hang from your sides, letting your elbow joints, your forearms and your wrists to be soft, allowing your palms to be soft and open to the sky. The knuckles, the fingers are all soft and loose and open. Traveling back up the arms, let's check in with our jaw. Soften in the jaw. Let your tongue be heavy inside your mouth. Let your cheekbones be nice and heavy. No need to hold the face up in any way. Allow your breath to come in and out of your nose. Allow sound to come in and out of your ears. Let's check in with our eyes. So closing the eyes if they're not already, letting the eyes roll back in your head, letting your eyelids be heavy. Even imagine your eyelashes were weighted, so the eyes are heavy and closed. Allow your forehead to be soft. Allow any thoughts that come to be like little thoughts passing by the sky of our mind. If you have hair, allowing the hair to fall and land wherever it does. And then once again, just draw awareness to your physical form. Maybe think about the bones in your body. Let all the bones be as heavy as they possibly can. And from here, I'll allow us 1.5 minutes of Shavasana, just being in the experience of your body, of your home, of your breath. So keeping everything the same in your physical body, just starting to call in some deeper breaths. And as you call in those deeper breaths, just notice where the breath causes movement in your body and allow that movement to move through. From here, starting to take any gentle movements, so maybe some little wiggles, some little sways side to side, just bringing awareness back into your physical form. If you want to take the arms up and overhead for a full body stretch, that might be a nice thing to do. And then whenever you're ready, nice and slow, roll over to your right side. Make a little pillow for your head with your inner right arm. And before you sit up, really feeling your connection to the earth here. Really feeling the weight of your body grounding down. And from that heaviness of your body, start to sit up into a comfortable seat. Rolling your shoulders away from your ears, lifting your heart slightly, placing your palms down or up on your thighs, and let's all close our eyes together here. So noticing how you feel now. And then we'll draw the hands in a gesture of prayer at the heart. Bow your chin into your chest. And just a reminder, my friends, that when everything can feel uncertain, different than it used to be, we can count on our breath and we can count on ourselves to bring ourselves back to the moment whenever we can remember. The light in me acknowledges the light in all of your beautiful hearts. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. I hope you feel a little bit better, a little bit more grounded. Take care of yourselves. Please stay healthy. Take care of your family, your community. I'm so glad that we could be here together today. Namaste.